Welcome everyone back to the channel. Kyle here as always at the toy table. And today we got a special unboxing. I know we do a lot of wrestling figure unboxings, but I like a whole lot of action figures just besides wrestling figures. Specifically Marvel Legends. And this one I've been wanting for a long time. I want to say it was about Christmas 2019 they announced this one and it's coming out. It started trickling to the stores. Very expensive price point, but I said, hey, I'm going to try to play the long game on this one for once. I don't do it a lot, but this one I knew would come down based on prior Marvel Legends experience on some of these box sets that go to the GameStops of the world and so forth. And that set is the Marvel Legends series X-Men 3-pack based on the cartoon animated series of the 90s, which I was a massive, massive fan of. I'm sure a lot of you guys were as well. All the episodes are up on Disney Plus right now. Actually, my oldest daughter and I watched every single episode. It took us about 2 months to get through them all, but it was a nice trip down memory lane. I hadn't watched them in, gosh, probably since they originally aired. It's been a long time since I've seen those episodes, and it was just as good as I remembered it. Held up great, I felt, just like G.I. Joe holds up. Anytime G.I. Joe's on, I can watch it. Same with X-Men, the animated series from the 90s. These figures are based on that X-Men 90s, even with the 90s kind of blue retro packaging. Really cool packaging there, as you can see with the blue. Really pops out in the stores. You can't miss this set. There's kind of the top with the Marvel Legends logo there, the X. How about the back? The back is extremely cool. Very throwback to the 90s Marvel cards. As a 90s, early 90s, I used to collect the Marvel's cards. With my baseball cards and stuff like that. And that's what this is a throwback to. If some of you guys remember back to those. Shows their power rankings, all that kind of good stuff that we used to have all the time back in the day. Character bios. So I'll read them. They're quick. Jean Grey. Jean Grey is an incredibly powerful mutant with the psychic powers of telepathy and telekinesis. And it also gives her some stats. 5'6", 110 pounds on Jean Grey. Wolverine, my personal favorite, as a lot of people from the 90s that really got into the X-Men love Wolverine. I was no different. Wolverine, Logan, 5'3". It's weird to think of him being that short, but here we are. He's a little guy, as a lot of us know. 195 pounds. The mutant known as Wolverine possesses razor-sharp adamantium claws and the ability to heal virtually any wound. And then Cyclops, the leader of the X-Men. A lot of people like Cyclops. You know, he was kind of a jerk in the animated series, I felt a lot of the times. Kind of stuck up a little bit, but I did enjoy Cyclops. Scott Summers, 6'3", 175 pounds. Scott Summers can fire optic blasts so powerful they can only be harnessed by a special ruby quartz visor. So there you go. And then it says on the back, the artwork on this package is inspired by the iconic trading cards from the early 1990s. So that's funny. They said it right there, and that's where my head first went when I saw this. So definitely worked in this instance. If it made me remember back to that, and that's what I thought it was, and there it goes. It says there. Part of the Marvel 80 Years collection, which I believe was last year. Just a very, very good set. Graphics on the side, some animation artwork, a little bit more. We'll give you another deeper look at the front here. Cyclops with 2 heads, Jean Grey with an extra head, and then Wolverine with 2 extra heads and a mask. So a lot of accessories, a lot of ways to put these together. You know, one thing I noticed on this, Wolverine comes with his adamantium claw hands, which are great, but the selling point in this is the wooden claws. Some of you comic fans might remember back in the day, I want to say it was the Fatal Attraction storyline. Wolverine got his adamantium ripped out of him by Magneto. We thought he lost his powers, but then we figured out, hey, the bone claws came in, and they were very painful for him as they ripped through his skin, as you can imagine. But his Wolverine, his X-Men mutant power, you know, his healing ability is his power. The bones were, or the adamantium claws were added to his internal bone claws that he already had. Boy, I rambled on that. I'm sorry, but kind of hard to explain. But very, very cool. This figure also comes battle damaged. Reminds me of the 90s Toy Biz battle damaged Wolverine, which was a favorite figure of mine when I played as a kid. I always started with the regular edition, and then as he was battling, he turned into the beat up edition. So you got the beat up head with the torn mask, you got the traditional mask, and then you got an unmasked head on there. But without further ado, let's open this bad boy up and see what we're dealing with here. Let's see. Maybe if I can get her open. Got the little pull tab action. There it is. This is a pretty expensive set too, like I mentioned earlier. Amazon does have it up to order on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description of the video in case anybody wants to order one or is looking for it. I actually got this one at GameStop. They had a deal going on. And I had a $5 rewards member coupon, and it was $5 cheaper than normal, and I said, now's the time, might as well. As we all know, we're stuck away with the quarantine going on. Can't get to the stores, can't be hunting. Figured the perfect time to finally pick this up. But very cool backing in there. The X-Men logo. You know, a lot of, you can throw this, boo, see you later. But I've seen people use these before as backdrops, the diorama stands. These can be reused. You don't have to throw these away. These can be cool and come in handy for a display if you're trying to build or something like that. And I always save these. Don't know what I'm going to do with them, but you never know. Down the road, you might want them for something. So here we are in the bubble. There's the whole crew there. Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Wolverine. Just an awesome, awesome pack. We'll start with Wolverine. And like I do, I like to get the accessories out first. Whoop, lost it. Shot out like a cannon. There's one hand. Two hands. There's the mask. There's the head. And there's another head. So let's take a look at this. So there is the regular Wolverine head. Classic edition. I got to figure out which one I'm going to use. Obviously, two claws. These are the adamantium claws. They do have movement on the claws, which are always nice. There's two. Here's the mask he wears, like he took the mask down, put that around his head. And then there's Wolverine, no mask, just good old Logan. Now let's get Wolverine out of his plastic prison here. There it is. Oh yeah, very, very similar to the, gosh, was it the Apocalypse Wave Marvel Legend Wolverine? Typical Legend articulation. The ankles move, kneecaps, thighs, waist, ab crunch. And you got the shoulder. It's got the butterfly shoulder joints, which are always a plus. A little bit movable shoulder pads here. The head moves. The double jointed elbows. I will definitely be putting him on display with the bone claws. This is the only bone claw figure. We got tons of adamantium claw Wolverines. Right now, my gut tells me I'm going to leave him as the battle damaged Wolverine, but I might be able to be persuaded. There it is. Very, very awesome. I might be persuaded to go maskless with the hood, as I don't have that on display currently in my collection anywhere like that. Good to see the ankles move. If you guys remember my Black Widow unboxing, I had some ankle troubles with the last Marvel Legend I had. So there it is. There's Wolverine, part 1 here. Get him right there. Nice. We'll stand them all up together at the end, hopefully. I didn't bring any of my stands with me. Jean Grey. So there's the Jean Grey long hair. As you can see. Very good likeness. You know, so far on Wolverine, I haven't noticed any paint app issues. Same with Jean Grey. I don't see any paint app issues. Very similar figure. Boy, I don't know. I got to decide which head to use for Jean. There's that one. The long hair. The whimsical one. Very similar to her Phoenix, Dark Phoenix figures. A bit of a repaint, different head. Maybe I'll pop this guy off here. Like so. Let's pop this one on. Let's see. See what we think. And there she is with the other head. I don't know. Tell me in the comments, what head would you use for all these? Wolverine especially as well. I'm leaning towards the long hair, non-ponytail Jean Grey is where my mind is going at first. You always say stick with your gut instinct, and that's my first instinct there. Now let's get into Scott Summers, aka Cyclops. Got 2 heads, 1 hand. Kind of interesting here. Let's see. Come on. There it is. So we got 2 heads, both with glasses. One with eyebrows and a little bit of a more poomph to the side. Not super different between the two. I don't think. This one's got more of a little bit of a frown to it. This one's got a little bit more of a smirk. He did come with an extra hand. He's got the 2 fingers up like he's going to push out of his not psychic, but his rays out of his head. I do love this figure. When I think of Cyclops in my head, I think of Cyclops in his jacket. I know some people probably think of his 70s X Factor gear, depending on your age, but I really do think of this Cyclops. I wish he was a little bit more, it's kind of a little darker blue than normal. Than I was hoping, I guess. You can see that there. A little bit on the back. I do love the head on this one. My gut tells me right now I'm going to use this head. The jacket is the huge selling point on this one. In the animated series, you know, he wore this jacket a lot. Also, Morph wore this jacket. It would be really cool to get a few more of these cheaply. Obviously, I don't think I would go down the road of buying a $50+ 3-pack just for extras of this, but I would love to army build. I'd love to get a Morph and put Morph's head on here because Morph had the same look a lot. I do hate a lot of Marvel Legends. They got these thigh little deals that go around the thigh, but then they got the ones that go around his calves. They do not always stay up, so then they fall down kind of looking like socks. That drives me absolutely nuts. I don't know if they should have glued those in or what, but it's a common thing on a lot of Marvel Legends. I'm not a huge fan of it. I kind of actually do like him with 2 fists, but I'll probably put the visor on there. And I think like I said, I think I'm good with this head. I like the hair, I like the classic face, I like the visor on more than the sunglasses. But a very, very solid set. I would say this is a must-have set, especially if you're an X-Men fan, especially if you're a 90s cartoon fan. This is one you got to have. It's kind of, I think some people refer to it as the love triangle 3-pack. Obviously, Jean Grey, Cyclops were married. Wolverine had eyes for Jean Grey. Very, very big-time love triangle. A lot like Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, and Elizabeth back circa WrestleMania 5, if we could compare it to something. I don't know if I can get all these guys to stand on their own. We'll see if we can make it happen. Move some of these accessories out of the way. Like that. My favorite is probably, boy, it's close between Wolverine and Cyclops. I do love the Wolverine. A lot of fond memories as a kid, like I said, playing with that one. But that Cyclops with the jacket is pretty awesome. I don't know if that can be topped in my book. But boy, Wolverine's a little tougher to get to stand. Oh, got it. Woo! There it is. There it is, the 3-pack of Doom. Absolutely awesome 3-pack. Strongly recommend you guys get out there and get it. Do whatever you can. Like I said, I'll put an Amazon link in the bio. You can check it out, look at it a little closer. Maybe you want to purchase it. But if you're a hardcore Marvel Legends fan or even a mild Marvel Legends fan, this is one you got to pick up. But that's it. That's this Marvel Legends unboxing. Thank you guys for watching along. Please leave me a comment, your thoughts. If you got any head decisions, which one you would use for head to display, send them my way. Don't forget to like the video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And until next time, I'll see you guys real soon. See ya.